What's up, YouTube? It's Arthur from Honest Masculinity again. It has been a while. I haven't been uploading a lot of videos. I'm very sorry for that because I went through some pretty crazy times lately, which I will talk about in this video as well, to get the internet's feedback or about my 40 followers on YouTube. It has been a long time, and yeah, let's hop into it. I want to talk about something relatively controversial, especially in our post-feministic times today. Yeah, so as you see in the title, it's about the sexual fantasies. And the thing is, I read another book. It's called Radical Honesty from Brad Blanton. And he's a psychotherapist, an American psychotherapist, and his idea is that you just say whatever you think in your mind. And especially you tell it to the people who you want it the least to know. And that's a pretty crazy life philosophy, but I wasn't like thinking much of it. Though, well, I'm a pretty honest person already, so I don't need to practice anymore. But then I saw a workshop on YouTube, actually, with some guys in Germany too. And one of the workshop guides communicated to the woman who was in the workshop too, that he has just thought about sleeping with her for a couple of minutes. And the girl actually reacted pretty cool, so she said she thinks it's a compliment and it's very brave. Thought to myself, well, let's give it a shot, let's do a little real-life experiment. But the problem was my situation. The woman I found attractive was the wife of my professor. So I started here, I'm in Paris still, I started my master thesis here. I went into a laboratory, and after 4 days, I sat down with a woman in my laboratory. I knew she was my wife's professor. And I told her, look, I know you're married and I feel bad about this, but I had a fantasy about sleeping with you. And the moment was it was very uncomfortable. I felt like I wanted to die. She was uncomfortable too, so she looked to the ground. And afterwards, it felt like there was a pretty deep connection between us two, and the attraction rose too. But in the moment, it was very, very uncomfortable for both of us. However, the next day, I got a call from my professor, and he said, "You're done. You're out. It's not acceptable, and you're done." So well, yeah, I was in Paris. I didn't really speak the language. And it's Corona, I had to find a new position. Maybe now you can understand why I didn't upload a lot of videos lately. And yeah, I went to a new university. I sat down with the professor. She was a woman this time. And I told her, look, I just got fired because I told my wife's professor that and that. And just to make it clear, at that point, my intention wasn't to have sex with my professor's wife. I consider that morally fucked up. So, like, in general, when women are taken, especially if they're married, I quit any pursuit of them. I just wanted to communicate it because I had a fantasy I didn't want to have. And I felt bad about it, or a bit ashamed. That's what I said it. Okay, all right. So I went to a new professor, new university, and I looked her in the eye and told, look, that's why I got fired. It's the reason. And she was pretty cool about it. She actually laughed. So I took it like, okay, maybe she's like very open-minded and doesn't take it as seriously. And I got warm with all the lab members, the new ones, and I was a bit more passive. But I told them the whole thing, and all of them said, yeah, it's cool and crazy, so I assume that it's a good thing. A lab mate of mine, my problem was like my supervisor at university was super hot, so obviously my hypersexual brain has invented another sexual fantasy about her too. Then I sat down with a guy I trusted in the laboratory and told him, like, look, I had another sexual fantasy about her, and I'm not sure if I should tell her this because I might get fired. And the guy said, well, yeah, you shouldn't tell her. And then he went to her and told her. Yeah, but it was all right. I received a warning email a couple of days later, but it wasn't because of that fantasy. It was because of something different. So some people in the laboratory said that I make people uncomfortable with some remarks. It was probably that I said something, experiences or something like that. And I was like, well, okay, it doesn't seem too good. And I asked 2 girls out in the laboratory. That's true too. But what's really crazy about my time was that I sat down with my professor at one point and I told her, look, one of your PhD students, who's my supervisor, I think she's really attractive, and I masturbated while fantasizing about her. And I mean, like 2 years ago, it was like no way for me to communicate something like that. So I'm a bit proud of it, I have to say. And yeah, she was really open about it, really cool. And well, I thought everything is fine. Later then, things got a bit more messy. I mean, I didn't say more controversial things actually, but yeah, I communicated another sexual fantasy. This time in a more careful manner than the last time. So I talked to the girl and said like, look, I want to tell you something, but I'm very, very scared of it because I got kicked out before. So I'm not sure if I should do it. And the girl said, no, it's fine, tell me. So I suppose it's okay. And I even told her, look, just if you really want to know, it's something sexual. And she said, yes, tell me. So I told her, yeah, I fantasized about sleeping with you on the toilet. And she was like, oh, okay, that's really normal. And she was really open-minded. And she said, I talk about this with my friends too. You can come to me any day. We can talk about that. So really, really relaxed. But yes, 3 days later, so the professor, I was greeted Monday morning with the words, hello, Arthur. I want this to stop. You're done. And I was like, fuck. It's like the second time in 6 weeks. I'm screwed. And that was pretty much it. Now I sit here in Paris without employment at university for now. And I will have to figure out what I will do now with my life. But even though it sounds a bit crazy, I would do it again. Everything. But I would like to know actually what you guys think. So you think it's like very overimposing, sexual harassment, blah 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 blah, or you think it's fine? Personally, for me, fantasies are not real, so I don't consider it to be that hardcore. For me, it's not so controversial because it's just in my mind. It doesn't matter that much. I can also like fantasize about things like, as I said in another video, about like killing people. That's like a very different thing than actually doing that, you know. So fantasies as well. I mean, sure, like I would want to sleep with the woman I fantasize about, obviously. That's a different thing than with the killing part. Anyway, the fantasies are not real, so I don't consider it to be that hardcore. But I want to know your opinion. Write it in the comments. Let me know if I'm a sexual predator. I got caught phrases like this on the internet. If it's sexual harassment, or if you think it's totally fine. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.